Welcome back 8C. We're now going on to our second screencast regarding probability and Venn diagrams. This screencast we're going to look into detail about how we draw a Venn diagram and inputting data in it from numerous different sets. First of all, how to draw a Venn diagram. Looking back from our first screencast, we remembered that the universal set is all within a rectangle. So for a start, we draw our rectangle. Then within that rectangle we have our other groups of data which are drawn in a circle. So we would draw those two circles inside. Remembering that when we draw our Venn diagram we need to label everything. Remembering to put our universal set, which was that funny E looking shape up there in the corner, and then we'll label this one A and this one B, which would be our two different sets. That's how we draw a simple Venn diagram. Here is that same Venn diagram, just drawn rather neatly. If I can get you to pause this video and just copy that underneath the previous stuff we wrote down in our rules book from the first screencast. Once you've done that, press play and we'll continue on. Here is a worked example that we'll go through in interpreting and inputting data into a Venn diagram. So we've got draw a Venn diagram representing the relationship between the following sets below. Show the position of all the elements in the Venn diagram. So we have our universal set, which is all numbers 1 to 10, our A set, which is the first three prime numbers, and our B set, which is odd numbers less than 9. So if we were to do that, we need to find out what numbers are in these sets. So obviously the universal set is going to have the numbers 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Then the A set will have the numbers, the first three prime numbers in the numbers 1 to 10, which is 2, 3, and 5. And then our B set is going to be odd numbers less than 9, which is then going to be 1, 3, 5, and 7. In doing this, we can then interpret this data and put it into our Venn diagram. In doing so, we need to calculate our data and find out what goes into A, what goes into B, what goes in A and B, and what goes in the rest of the set. So we need to find out that's in A, B, and the universal set. So looking at this, we can then determine what values are in there. So we can find that 3 is in all three sets. So 3 would then go in here. And then we can also see that 5 is also in A and B and the universal set. So we pop that in there. Now we need to find what goes into A that's not in B. Obviously that's 2. So we pop 2 in there. Then we find out what's in B that's not in A, which is our 7 and our 1. So we pop them into there. And then the rest of our universal set, which isn't in A or B, then gets positioned around the rectangle. So then we can go and pop in 4, 6, 8, 9 and 10, because they're the ones which haven't been taken up in our A and B sets. So in seeing that, we can now see how we construct a Venn diagram. If I can now get you to pause this again, and I'll get you to write this down into your formula books for me, please. So then we'll get you to copy down the diagram there with the numbers inputted, and then our numbers of our sets up above, and do that nice and neatly for me. And then after that we'll then go on to screencast number 3, where we'll look at intersects and unions. Just so you can draw a nice neat example of this Venn diagram, on the next slide I'll have it redrawn up for you nice and neatly. So remembering, once you've finished putting that into your rules book, we'll then go on to screencast number 3, where we will look at this data which we've got on this worked example and talking about unions and intersections. Thank you. Here is the final slide, which has the neatly drawn example for you with our sets over here and our Venn diagram here drawn up nice and neatly. Remembering to make sure that we label everything with our A and B and our universal set, and try and use a ruler so we have it nice and neatly drawn. Thank you.